Good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live. It is September 20th, 2023. Can you believe it? And I am coming live, and I haven't been here live for a while in the Facebook group. And also, this will be going on to YouTube channel as well. If you want to follow me, it's at Pleasure for Health on YouTube, or in the Facebook group here, Women Healing from Emotional Abuse with Power, Passion, and Pleasure. My name is Elsa Kepi. I'm a somatic coach, therapist, and looking forward to speaking with you all today because it's been a while. So I hope you've all had a good summer. We've had loads of rain here in the Maritimes, and recently it ended up being a tropical storm, so it wasn't too bad. But I wanted to really dive into a topic today that is more about, the path to healing. So we often talk about the trauma, the abuse, all of the bad things that are happening, all of the problems we have with our, relationships and things after having an abusive relationship. But we don't always know how to move forward, how to get on with our lives, how to continually advance our ability to experience joy and ecstasy and bliss and connection, which are things that I think everyone really is desiring on some level. So I thought we'd spend a little bit of time today looking at building our positive feelings instead of going over and over the negative ones. So there are many videos in here. Please do check for, if you want to look at all of those aspects of being in abusive relationships, getting out of them. But today we are going to focus on joy and on how we can start building our self-worth, because most of us got into these types of relationships that are manipulative or abusive because we didn't really love ourselves enough, or we didn't know how to love ourselves enough to really value who we are and to value our time and our energy in a relationship. So let's dive in. What is joy is a really good question to start with. So a lot of people that I work with, they come to me and they're like, well, I want to experience joy or peace. What are these things? They're kind of elusive feelings. They're topics that we can't really define that well. And so let's try our best to consider what joy actually is or where it comes from. So joy is a fleeting experience, I think, an in-the-moment experience. And if you had to think about something that brings you joy, I recently did this with a group I was working with. We came up with things like when you first get out of bed and you open the curtains and there's a beautiful sunrise, there's kind of this kind of feeling of wow, I'm so glad to be alive. This is amazing. Sometimes it's that first sip of coffee in the morning when you just, when your cat is curled up at your feet and there's nobody bothering and you have half an hour of quiet time before the kids get up, or however that looks for you. That little bit of that feeling. But it doesn't, most of us anyway, I don't know, maybe you're different, but for most of us, I think it doesn't last. It's not a ongoing feeling like I'm in joy all the time. Although we may feel peaceful and able to kind of connect with joy, quite often, it doesn't always stay with us as that I'm just in this feeling of joy all the time. We kind of go up and down, right? And that's normal. So how do we cultivate these experiences of joy, and what does that look like? So it's interesting that the word passion, meaning what we're drawn to do with our time here on earth, our passion of what we do with ourselves, is kind of linked to this intrinsic feeling of joy. So as we feel a moment of joy, maybe it's when you first put that roll of new paint on the wall, or you cut your hair, or, there's an intrinsic kind of joy when you see people and you like people, when you take your dog for a walk, because that's a beautiful time of day. There arises from that a feeling of, oh, let's notice the things that bring that moment of joy. And if I put them together, that kind of shows me where my passion lies. And so for me, talking to all of you is actually a feeling of joy in the moment. And especially when, there's like an opening, or I can see someone, making a connection for themselves, or starting to feel more free in their body, or maybe like having an aha about a relationship. These bring me joy. And then I've streamed that into a passion of working with that so that I can be in joy more of the time, right? So it's all about me, really. But this repeated experience of joy can start leading us towards our passion. And I think this is one of the biggest things to wrap your head around as healing from emotional or other types of abuse or trauma, is we want to know what brings us joy, because this is who we are when we're not just calling ourselves a victim, or not just calling ourselves a survivor. What do we call ourselves around our passion? I'm a painter, I'm a dancer, I'm a mother, I'm a teacher, whatever it is, like whatever your passion is. I'm a cosmic light worker. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no right or wrong about that. It could be a dishwasher, but if you take intrinsic joy and have a passion about that thing, it starts bringing up who you really are. And this connects that feeling of joy to what you do. So this is what I would call passion, and using joy to kind of find ourselves there. So finding this passion is one of our really important things to do about what we do. And the next idea of joy that I thought was interesting, and this is more in the context of relationships, is what person or people bring us joy. So being with a certain person might bring up that person of joy. And it would be a feeling of love. If you have a joy in the presence of a person, to me, that's something like what you might label love. So having this sort of joyful feeling in with another person helps us to understand love. And so the same idea of passion being the joy in doing an activity or doing something that we feel, so that's kind of passion and brings up our passion. How we find love is to find that same feeling or a similar feeling of joy when we're with this other person. So, and it might be, love might come up in relationship to a pet, to nature, to a tree. It doesn't have to be a person, although many of us do crave having relationships with a person at some point. So this moment of joy, so do you wake up and look at a person or think of a person and just, that feeling of like, that's that sudden moment of joy, they're coming home in a minute, I can't wait to see them kind of joy. This is sort of what love is. So we have this passion and love, which help us realize what we're really aiming for here. So what's interesting then is that to integrate all these aspects of ourselves, we have to be living our passion and being true to our joy in our relationships, so that we have integrity, right? So that we're feeling joy. Like if you're in a relationship and you never feel that feeling of joy with that person, there's maybe another reason you're in that relationship, but it's probably not joy and love. It may be convenience. It may be a feeling of safety. It may be, financial stability. It might be a need to look after someone. There's many reasons why we get in relationships, but this feeling of joyful love that comes up with another person is potentially something that we are aiming for in this connection when we really want to experience like unconditional sort of love with someone. It's this feeling of joy. So we want to have integrity with ourselves. So first of all, it all comes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the video about finding these moments of joy and noticing them. And the biggest thing across the board that people say is important is noticing them, taking the time to notice them. So my challenge for you today, if you choose to accept the challenge, is to notice, let's say 3 things that bring you joy today, and just really taking the time to notice it. Is it the way that your fuzzy socks feel on your feet when you put them on? Is it the breath of fresh air when you walk outside after the rain? Is it the feeling of a cozy sweater? I don't know. It could be very simple, but see if you can come up with 3 feelings of joy and begin to notice how that feels in your body, right? So when I talk to people that I work with about the somatic aspect of our work together, it's about learning to feel these things. And many of us have extensive experience feeling, not very nice, feeling angry, feeling hurt, feeling sad. But we have to actually cultivate noticing the good feelings, the feelings of joy. So once you start noticing these feelings, you might notice that certain people that this, comes up with, or certain, your pet, you might notice a certain activity that brings these feelings up, and you'll start to notice that your passion, your love, and now your integrity of who you are as a human being is really coming together. You start to make sense. And when you have this integrity, when someone comes along that you're interested in, you have the possibility of making a true connection with this person because you're coming from this place of integrity, from joy. And if this other person will likely, if you're resonating on that frequency, they'll also do, reflect that for you. And that now you have 2 people who are really solidly in their joy and their passion and their love and their integrity, and they come together and they can, create a loving and caring and wonderful connection. So this is kind of one of those aspects that's important to come to terms with. And we need to learn to recognize this feeling of joy. So that's the practice for today. And the way that this builds self-worth is that now I have this integrity. I start feeling like, who I am in my joy and passion and love is worth presenting to the world, is worth opening to the world, because now the world is going to start reflecting that to me back. And I'm going to have a totally different experience than when I'm, opening and just showing my fear, my anger, my resentment, my trauma. That resonates on a totally different frequency than when we start feeling joy and integrity and love. And it's not an easy transition. I'm not saying it's like just taking a pill. It's about noticing the small moments of joy. Really, that builds it up. And it is a practice. And I think one other thing, I keep saying there's only one thing, but here's one other thing that is really important as we are on this journey, is that it is a practice. It's not a sudden aha and I'm all fixed or better or worthy or somebody's going to come along and make it all better. It is the continual daily practice of noticing the little things that make us joyful. And really, that practice will lead you in a very short amount of time to this feeling of self-worth, of integrity, of love and passion. And really, what else could we want in the world? That I know that would be very fulfilling to me anyway, and I know a lot of you resonate similarly. So I thought that was it kind of puts it in perspective as not this thing way out there in the future, some unattainable feeling of joy that we can never experience. This is about the little tiny moments of joy. And for me today, it was like stepping out of, we're sleeping in a trailer in the summer, stepping out of the trailer right into the fresh air is joy. It's like, putting on this was actually true, I'm putting on my fuzzy socks when my feet are slightly cold is a real feeling of joy. Coming on to talk to all of you is a real feeling of joy and, connection. So noticing all these moments in our day and taking time to do that on a regular practice will lead you to that. And if you feel like you need some support and help with that, I'm here. I do have a wonderful program that is set up for women that are recovering from abusive relationships and really wanting to connect with themselves. And I'll take you through this whole process, this whole arc. And if you're interested in that program, please do reach out to me. You can reach out to me here under this video. You can also try going to www.ailsakepi.com/apply, and you'll get straight to my calendar, and we can book a call and talk about what your goals are and how you want to be supported to get there. I would love to talk to you more personally and see if we're a good fit to work together as well. But please do take that idea of joy and building joy and let me know how it goes. So I look forward to hearing from you again. Ailsa Kepi, and you can find me at ailsakepi.com. That's AILSAKEPPIE.com, and you can get in touch with me from there. All right, have a wonderful day.